Believe it's going. So welcome to our informational session for PSEO. And we will be discussing a little bit about Reach courses. I'm Jen Tufson. I'm the academic advisor at the Canby campus. And I have joining with us, with me, Kyle. I'll let you introduce yourself, Kyle.
Good afternoon. I'm Kyle Behrens, and I'm an academic advisor and adjunct faculty on the Worthington campus. Thank you for being with us this afternoon.
All right, so just some housekeeping things. We're just going to go through some slides. You can reach out to us through chat, either by chatting with the whole group and asking any questions, or you can message Kyle or I directly. We will be monitoring that. So any questions, feel free to ask. At the end, we'll also have a survey just to get feedback on how we're doing and how we can improve. So any suggestions are helpful. And also you can add an email in that survey if you would like or additional information, or if you want us to follow up with you. So please stay on at the end to complete that survey. We appreciate it. So we will get started. Kyle, did you want to start with the first one? You want me to go?
You can lead into it, Jen.
All right. So are you able to see? It's not switching on my screen, but can you see that earn college credits in high school? Is that what you're seeing?
Nope. We're just seeing the welcome slide yet, Jen.
Okay. There we go. All right, so you can earn college credits in high school, and there are a couple of ways of doing that. So first option would be our concurrent enrollment or REACH courses. Some of you also may be able to attend other concurrent enrollment courses through other colleges at your high school. But these courses are taught in the high school by high school teachers that are credentialed within that field. And this is at no cost to student or parents. The second way would be to enroll in PSEO, which also is no cost to student or parents. And those courses are offered either online, or you could attend one of our 6 campuses, which would be in Worthington, Jackson, Canby, Granite Falls, Pipestone, or our Laverne Center.
Okay, why take college courses in high school? It helps students get better prepared for the demands of college in the future and also entering the workplace. It challenges students academically, saves time and money for students, as this is a free program, whether you do concurrent classes in your high school or PSEO classes with Minnesota West directly. It allows students to explore different subjects that may lead to a desirable career for them. So, for example, you can do general education courses, or if you're specific about knowing what you want to go into, such as like business or ag, nursing, you can set your academic and career path based on what you want to major in. In some situations, you can create a more flexible schedule if that's something that you're looking at. You wouldn't maybe need to be taking classes every day of the week, or maybe just in mornings. We can build a schedule that works best for you. And you get to meet students from different schools.
All right, things you should know. You can drop as a PSEO student the course within the first 10 days of taking that course. So typically our students are only allowed the first 5 days to drop the courses, but we allow an extra 5 days for PSEO to drop that. So the first 5 days you can do that on your own in your e-services. And then the next week you would need to reach out to an advisor to get assistance with dropping that course. Courses begin August 25th, so keep that in mind that some of the high school classes may not begin until after that date, and you will still be required to log in on August 25th to start your PSEO courses. Withdrawing from a course, so you can withdraw from a course up until 80% of that course instruction has been completed. This would still appear on your transcript. So keep that in mind that you would have a W on your transcript if you withdraw. Withdrawing does not affect your GPA, but it will affect your completion rate, which is also considered when we look at our SAP. All right, so another thing to consider is attendance. Instructors are allowed to drop you from the course if you are not attending. So within that first week or two, you may be dropped from the course, which would put an F on your transcript. for not showing up or not completing the work. So again, you really need to be committed to logging into your D2L, I would say daily, to make sure that you are completing the deadlines and that you're attending that course. So you prevent you from getting dropped. So what is SAP? Students that do not meet SAP standards may be placed on academic warning, probation, or suspension. So what is required for that is to have a cumulative GPA of a 2.0 and a completion rate of 67%. So again, even if you withdraw from the course, that still would affect that completion rate. Academic probation or suspension will follow you to any Minnesota State college. And then if you're placed on academic suspension, you will be required to complete an academic appeal with your advisor from the college. And again, just making sure you're aware that all of that will follow you to your different colleges. Transcripts will be sent to future schools. And PSEO and Reach grades appear on that transcript. So even if you're in a Reach course and you fail that course or you withdraw from that course, it will show up on your Minnesota West transcript. So things to consider is not taking more classes than you can handle. You want to challenge yourself, but you want to do it in moderation. And then always talk to your high school counselor to make sure that this is the right choice for you before enrolling in any PSEO or Reach courses.
All right, moving on to who is eligible. And again, Jen and I are just covering this pretty quickly. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, or we'll put our contact information. You're always welcome to reach out and we can explain anything a little bit further if this gets a little overwhelming or you have additional questions. So who is eligible? Sophomores. Sophomores have a minimum of they need to have a proficient score in their 8th grade MCA test scores for reading. Sophomores have just been able to do PSEO classes in the last 3 years about approximately. So this is something a little bit newer in the last couple of years, and they need to meet the assessment prerequisites for each course that they are trying to register for. PSEO students in 10th grade will be allowed to register for one CTE course during their first semester. And a CTE course is a technical or trade type of course. It's not a gen ed. So it would be like a business course or an accounting course or an agriculture course, something in the technical course area. And advisors can help you, even like a computers course. So advisors would be able to help you know what those courses are. And there's a link of our courses as well that fall into that category. So they would take one of those classes their first semester, and then they would work with their advisor on figuring out what's the best fit for them. And then if the student is successful with a C or higher in their first course, then they are open to register for more courses their second semester during their PSEO time as a sophomore, and that would include any gen ed course. So this is just for sophomores. Take one CTE course their first semester. If they're successful, then the second semester they can take as many gen ed courses, up to 16 credits if they choose.
I just want to point out that on the side here on this page is Kameen. She started with us as a sophomore and she ended up completing our whole electrical program here on the Canby campus before she graduated high school. So it's pretty cool. All right, so who else is eligible? Juniors. So they must meet the following to qualify for PSEO. They need to be ranked in the upper third of their class or have a 24 or higher on ACT. And then you need a 2.6 cumulative high school GPA. There's some other requirements there, as well as the AccuPlacer, a 250 on the next gen or a 78 on the classic AccuPlacer.
Okay, seniors, they must meet one of the following criteria to qualify for PSEO, ranking the upper half of their class or 21 or higher ACT, 500 or higher on their reading, 250 or higher on their reading Gen Ed AccuPlacer, 78 or higher on their reading on the classic AccuPlacer, a 2.6 cumulative high school GPA or higher, or we review your academic record on a case-by-case basis. And homeschool students, juniors and seniors may qualify using ACT, SAT, AccuPlacer, or review of their homeschool transcript as well.
Right, so you're interested in doing it, you're ready to go. So how do you get started? You will first want to talk to your high school counselor before October 30th or May 30th deadline to notify them of your high school, your intentions to take PSEO class. So May 30th would be in order to take fall courses, and then October 30th would be for spring. After you speak to your high school instructor, you're going to go on our website and submit your free online application. So when you're doing that, you'll want to select PSEO as in the application so that we know that you're a PSEO student. You'll also be making a star ID and creating a password, and you will want to write this down somewhere because you will be using it for all of your login information. And then you will request your high school transcript be sent to us from your high school counselor. And if you need, you can always request to take from us a free AccuPlacer test. If your GPA isn't qualifying you or you, for some reason, need that to get into a certain course with us.
Just as a little reminder and relief to a lot of people is you can take that AccuPlacer test more than once and it is not timed. Again, it's a free test, but it's not timed and you can take it more than once. So when it comes to standardized testing, that can be kind of a relief to many students if you need to go that route. So, okay, getting started. Reach students, your high school will send the college information to enroll to you in your Reach courses. PSEO students, you need to complete PSEO registration forms or notice of student registration forms depending on your high school. We have contracts with certain schools and non-contracted schools, and so we will work with you on what PSEO form you need to use directly if you're going to do the PSEO route.
Great. Then you're going to want to create a plan. So again, work with your high school counselor to make sure you're meeting all your high school graduation requirements, whether that be through the high school or if you're taking some of the courses with us to meet that. Again, work with your high school counselor to determine what REACH courses are offered at your high school so that you're able to take those through the high school, and then what you're eligible to take with us. You'll want to meet with your Minnesota West advisor to create a plan on what courses to take. And we can do that. We can meet with you in person, via Zoom, over phone, whatever works best for you, and helping you pick those courses for your future goals. And then you can always utilize the Minnesota Transfer Curriculum Guide and General Education Guide in planning and picking courses for your future. So that is also located on our website. Really, if you go on our website and you just hit the search tool, any of these items, if you just plug it in, that search will pull up for you.
All right, so now what? Minnesota West email. Visit the www.minwest.edu website to set up your Minnesota West email. Email will be set up 24 hours after you register for your classes. You will be set up with an email. Communication from the college will go to your Minnesota West email, not your personal email, so check it regularly. So information from instructors or any college staff will all go to your Minnesota West email. So it's really important that students set that up after they register and that they check it on a very regular basis. New student emails, again, are set up 90 days prior to the start of the semester after having been registered, but your email is actually created within 24 hours. Book ordering. Visit our online bookstore 3 weeks prior to the start of the semester. Books will be shipped to your home, or an access code will be emailed to your Minnesota West email account in order to access your online books and material. Again, books are a free part of the PSEO and concurrent course program, and some of them are an actual hard book and or a paper book and or a binder, and some are a code for an ebook, and that code would get emailed to your student account. So it's all part of the book ordering process. And D2L is our online learning platform that will be used to complete your classes. Log into D2L to watch student orientation videos to help you prepare for how to use that platform and resources available to you. Download the Pulse app on your phone to make sure classes are more accessible.
And I just want to point out that if you're planning on taking courses this fall, book ordering opens August 4th. So that may be a date you just want to write down. You can contact any of the advisors. You can also call our 1-800 number that's located on our website, and they can assist you with book ordering as well. So be sure that you're ordering it plenty of time in advance. It does get shipped to you so that they arrive before classes begin so that you can be successful in that course. All right, some just odds and ends to go over here. So we have what we call FERPA, the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. So as a college student, because now PSEO students would be considered college students, we have to follow the Privacy Act. And in order to speak with anyone other than the student, they will need to fill out the FERPA, or the Authorization to Release Student Information form. So if a parent is calling us or emailing us, we are not allowed to speak to you unless your student has filled out that form. It is located on our website, and we can drop a link here in the chat as well. And just make sure that your student's filling out that form if you're planning on contacting or before you contact the school. We also offer accessibility and disability services. So if a student is on an IEP, a 504 plan, or has a diagnosed disability, you can set up accommodations, and you can do so by filling out our disability request form or reaching out to our disability coordinator, Brian Reynolds. We also provide tutoring services. So we do have Minnesota West tutors available. Again, this is free to students, so they can access our tutors on our website. And you can meet with tutors either via Zoom or at one of our campuses that they're located. And then we also offer what is called tutor.com. So that's a free 24-hour students or service that students have available to them, where they can chat with a tutor, they can request an appointment with a tutor, or they can submit a paper to be reviewed for a 12-hour review. I highly recommend that if a student is taking Comp 1, to get that paper reviewed and edited, and then checking the sources. And then we also offer a mental health and wellness counselor. Kathy Gruis is available to meet via Zoom or on campuses. If a student is just needing help with some stress management due to anxiety, depression, or even just time management skills, she's available for all of our students.
Will my college courses transfer? Absolutely, transferring college credits and how to do that. Please utilize our transferology.com website. It's for college evaluators to determine transferability to your future institution. So if you're questioning a certain course, and if it's going to go to where you're transferring to, you can use this tool to look up the Minnesota West course and then how it's compatible to the college that you are looking at, or vice versa if you're transferring back to Minnesota West. All institutions in Minnesota State College and University systems accept Minnesota West transfer courses. Minnesota West credits transfer to various public and private schools, college and universities within Minnesota, surrounding states, and across the nation. You will need your Minnesota West transcript with your Reach and/or PSEO courses to be sent to any college or university outside the Minnesota state system. So if you're going to a South Dakota or Iowa school, they're crossing state lines. You have to request to have your transcript sent to those places. If it's in state, you just have to notify them and they can pull it in state. And contact Minnesota West K-12 coordinator for assistance if you have issues with getting your credits to transfer. It's very important that if you are finding that your credits aren't transferring, to find out why. Your gen ed classes should always transfer. You could talk to anyone about if you are having problems. If you hear someone say that your classes are not transferring, more than likely it has to do something with it's not the same program. So for example, if you took a business class and you become an ag major, your business classes would become electives. So that's just a quick reference on a scenario why they wouldn't transfer into a program. So sometimes you just have to ask a few more questions or get to the bottom of it when someone says a blanket statement like my classes didn't transfer or my credits didn't transfer. So there's usually a little more to it, but make sure you ask lots of questions and we're here to help.
All right, and there's just some events coming up that I wanted to point out to you guys. We do have a medical lab tech and radiology tech camp It's a great opportunity for high school age students to kind of go in there and program shadow to see if that's something they're interested in. That is April 29th at the Laverne Center. And then we also have the Medical Assistance and Surge Tech Camp offered April 10th at also the Laverne Center. So some great opportunities. You can go on our website and search enrollment events, and that should bring you to a link to register for those events if you're interested. There's also a calendar here for other events that are offered throughout the summer. We have a Scrubs camp coming up in June 25th at the Granite Falls campus. Those are always very popular events.
Right. There is a PSEO opportunity for scholarships. A $2,000 Blue Jay PSEO student scholarship will be awarded to any Minnesota West PSEO or concurrent enrollment student who completes the following criteria. You graduated from high school in May or June of 2025 with 9 or more college credits earning a C or better. You're enrolled in 9 or more credits in the fall of 25 and 9 or plus more credits in the spring of 2026. You have a GPA of 2.0 or higher, and you complete the PSEO Reach Scholarship app, which is due August 1st of 2025. And this is a really fantastic scholarship. It's for $2,000. And that's a high amount for a scholarship. So I encourage anybody that's going to be graduating, that's been doing Reach or PSEO classes, to fill that out that meets the criteria. Again, ask any questions if you have any.
And these are just our wonderful advisors here at Minnesota West. Feel free to reach out to any of the advisors. We're happy to help you answer any questions, troubleshoot any issues or situations. So don't be afraid to contact us. You can find us on our website. There's links to book directly with us on the website under student services. So I just highly encourage students to reach out to advisors, be in contact with us. Also be in contact with your instructor, make sure you're communicating with us and reaching out right away if you're having any issues or need help. And then I would just encourage you here to take this survey for us. It just kind of helps us with improving these sessions and what you're looking for and how we can help you. It also will provide you the opportunity to put your information down so we can reach back out to you if you want one of us to contact you directly, send you this PowerPoint or any information that we discussed today. Let's see. We have some stuff in the chat, it looks like. Oh, it was just Jackie.
Is there any questions?
Is there any summer school options if a student wants to try and get ahead and do a couple of things in the summer?
Summer classes are not covered during the PSEO program. It's just fall and spring semester.
Sounds good, thanks.
If they take them, they would just pay out of pocket, just so you know. It's not that you couldn't take classes, it just is they're not eligible for the free program.
No, that makes sense.
They do also have the opportunity to take winter term courses for PSEO. It's considered part of spring semester. So just so you're aware, that's an option to that little like 2-week time frame there over Christmas break. Although you'd really want to take into consideration if they're in sports or have family things, because you really do have to log in every day.
That's in,
the chat. Hours.
That's in January.
It starts December. I don't even know the dates for next year. Like the 29th or something, maybe?
Yep,
Yeah,
it's usually a couple days after.
Yeah.
Yep, a couple days after Christmas, and then it's the very end of December, and then goes into the first part of January.
Yep, this year it'll run December 29th through January 8th.
Thanks, Kayla. Any restrictions? Well, for courses, the restrictions would be for especially for the sophomores, their first semester, they're only allowed one CTE course. And we do have a list on our website, to check out. Otherwise, again, if you put your information in that survey, I can send you that list directly. Otherwise, they do need to meet the prerequisites of any course. So whether that be a college reading level or, a college math level or a class prior to taking that course. So there are some restrictions, but for the most part, students can take anything that they want and qualify for.
Nope, we have classes both offered in person and online, and students get to pick which works best for them and their schedules. So all of our liberal arts, which are general education courses, can usually be taken either face-to-face or online.
They're all great questions. Keep them coming.
I was just gonna mention, does anybody have any questions about the confusion between REACH and PSEO? I know that's something some people don't really understand what REACH is versus PSEO. Do you all understand that?
Sure, and I can just elaborate a little bit more. I think Jen mentioned it earlier on. So concurrent or reach classes are taught in your high school by a high school instructor that is credentialed to teach in that area. And PSEO are through Minnesota West campuses and taught by
We can't hear
PSEO.
you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I was able to hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. So concurrent or reach classes are taught in the high school by high school instructors that are credentialed in the field that they are teaching. And so you wouldn't have to leave the high school for concurrent or reach classes. And PSEO are taught by Minnesota West faculty online or on one of our Minnesota West campuses. And so that's a little bit of the difference between PSEO and concurrent reach classes.
And it's our high school counselor that determines if any PSEO class applies towards high school graduation, right?
Correct. I would recommend that you go through your high school counselor advisor to make sure that the classes you are taking at the college are counting for areas that you need to complete for graduation from high school. Yes, they sign off or confirm that. Principals or counselors.
I just put in the chat our authorization to release student information if you're looking for that.
PSEO students can take a maximum of 16 credits per semester. And if they need to, for some reason, to take more than that, we go through a petition process for approval.
If my kid misplaces their star ID, what's the how we cover?
Let me share my screen with you. Okay, are you all able to see the website?
Yes.
Okay, so if your student misplaces their star ID or if they need to change their password, you can go to current students here, and we're just going to go down to the e-services account. And then right over on the right side there of where you would log in with the star ID, it says need login help. And this is going to take you to the self-service portal. So you click self-service and then you can reset your password. You can do what is my star ID. There's a couple options on how to do that. So you can use their tech ID or student ID if you know that, kind of how we recognize them in the system. Along with that, you would need their social security number though. So I recommend always doing my email address, and that would be the email that they applied to the school with. And then you will be able to, you'll have to reset your password and then it will pop open with the star ID. Great question. Other things, if you guys are on our website for students, almost everything they're going to need is under this current student tab. They'll be able to log into e-services where they would register for courses, set up their email account right here, and then access to D2L in the bookstore. Also, those forms we were talking about, like the authorization to release forms, they would be over in student forms over here. You have that under admission. If you just scroll down, you can get those PSEO registration forms off here, and then the authorization to release student information. Another way is to go to, in the wrong section, college credit in high school. This will have access to the Reach program information and PSEO. You can find forms, you can find a checklist on here to kind of guide you through those steps on getting started. You can apply through here as well. And then we also have that 10th grade list located on here of all the courses that a 10th grader could take for their first semester. So drop that in the chat. Oh, the Rad Tech Camp? Yes, let me get that for you. I'll share my screen here again. All right, so I just threw in the search bar enrollment events, and it's going to pull open to all of the events that we have. We do have some orientation days coming up as well. At the various campuses, we will be having PSEO specific orientation. Those dates are not out yet, but we are working on that. So make sure your student is aware of that and attends those. There is a lot of useful information within those orientations. And then we are looking for the various events. So let's scroll down here to April. So the med assistant surge tech is April 10th. I can copy that one in the chat here for you guys. The rad tech is April 29th. And then there's also some here in June as well. Any other questions?
Jen, if you don't care, I'd like to give a couple tips and reminders on bookstore stuff when they get to the point of ordering. I see Amy's in the meeting and she kind of oversees all that stuff, but she's also in the campus store, so she may have to step away from the meeting for just a bit. A couple of good reminders for any PSEO student when they're ordering books is we don't ask you for your credit card information. So as a parent or a student in the checkout process, don't ever put your credit card in. We don't want you to put stuff on your credit card. We don't want your student to rent books. And those are a couple of areas where when they rent a book, you have to put a credit card in to secure the purchase. And when you're checking out, if the only option is credit card, we wouldn't want you to select that. We'd want you to contact the college and ask for the PSEO payment option to make sure that you're on that approved list. But that's one big tip for when you're checking out is never enter credit card information for a PSEO student. We don't charge you personally for anything and we wouldn't ask for it. And then I think another big one for Amy is just make sure that when you're ready to order books, you go out to that student schedule of yours and use the exact drop downs of your course, because we have a lot of courses that have different sections and different instructors. English Comp is a great example. There could be 8 sections of English Comp with 3 different instructors. They have faculty freedom to choose whatever material they want. And so you need to know more than just I'm in comp one, because you could very well add the wrong material to your cart and not know it until you are 3 or 4 days into class. And that creates a big hurdle for your student if they're get behind in materials, because we ship everything from a fulfillment center platform. It's not a walk into a store and grab it off the shelf situation. Everything is placed in a cart, everything's ordered, and everything is shipped directly to a student's home. So keep those in mind when you start to see deadlines for ordering times. So.
Sheila, I'm here, everybody. Hello.
Oh.
Sorry, but this may have been covered, but also just a point out for book ordering. Make sure the account for the bookstore is in the student's name, not the high school counselor's name, not mom or dad's name. Make sure the email address that you are entering is a correct email address that you have access to. If you get a digital item, as far as a digital book, that email will need to go to the email on your bookstore account. So that's very, very important. But just make sure when you're making your bookstore account, it's in the student's name, the student's address, the student's phone number, the student's email. That's always a good pointer also. And if you ever have questions as far as books, we're here to help. You can reach out to us via email or phone, or stop in on the Worthington campus is where we are at. Your Canby campus and Jackson campus can help you also as far as books go, or any of your advisors. Thank you.
All right. I also want to point out with the bookstore, if your student's having issues ordering books, like it's not allowing you to submit, it may be because you do not have the correct paperwork on file for us. So in that case, you would want to reach out to your advisor to make sure that we have everything we need on our end, so that you can place that order. Don't let them just give up on ordering books, not have the materials for class. Make sure you're reaching out to us as soon as possible.
Someone asked where the list of courses are for junior and senior, and I just put the link, I just put the link to our master schedule. But if you just go to our homepage under current student, you could go to course schedule and you can search by semester. You can select for online or all classes, but I put that link in the chat as well.
Kyle, do you want to explain quickly, just because the way I read that question is, where do we find a list, as if we're limited? I believe juniors and seniors are not limited, and it's just sophomores, correct?
That is correct. Juniors and seniors can take any kind of college classes, whether it be a technical course, CTE course, a gen ed, anything they are eligible for. And if you need more specifics on that, reach out to one of us and we can walk you through that a little bit more streamlined as also.
You see the website? I kind of can show you too. Under academics here on our website, if you go to class schedule, that is the link that Kyle just put under there. And you can select the class schedule, and then you can pick any of our campuses, or if you're planning only virtual online, I would select that to filter your courses. Select the semester you're planning to take those courses. And then you can go by subject if you're planning on just specifically like general eds, for example. I always tell students to go down to this collapse, expand, search, and this really narrows it down by goal area for general eds. So there are 10 goal areas of general ed requirements, and we can work with your student on what they are and what meets those. But say, for example, they need their goal area 1 met, then you can filter it by that, communications 1, and you'll be able to see the public speaking, interpersonal communications, comp 1, all the courses that are offered fully online for fall semester. So kind of a nice way to just kind of filter that down a little bit is by looking at this Minnesota transfer curriculum goal area. I apologize. My Zoom is, I zoomed in for my last appointment because I was trying to read descriptions for them. So that was really large, but. And also, like Kyle shared, reach out to your advisors if you're wondering about classes, what would be best options. If you're planning to attend another university, like we can help you figure out what's going to transfer eventually for you, what courses you should be looking at taking. We're really here to help you take courses that will transfer, that will help you be successful in the future and reach those goals, whatever they may be. So again, just reaching out to your advisors, that's what we're here for. So don't hesitate to email us, call us, set up appointments. We will get back to you and help you.
Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us this afternoon. We'll give it a moment or two. If you have more questions, reach out or put it in the chat. Otherwise, we will let you have the rest of your afternoon to enjoy sunshine, a little sun. So again, we hope that we can help you with your PSEO and concurrent questions, and we hope that each of you got information that will benefit you. So
Thank you.
thank you for being here.